It's pure bedlam in New York, and Pacioretty is nowhere to be found. This is Hockey Inside Out. I'm Adam Sessler, coming to you from the Gazette in downtown Montreal with Jack Todd, Chris Nyland, and CBC Daybreak's Jessica Rusnak. Here's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. Number one, aside from Carey Price and Radulov, who has been the Canadiens' most impressive player so far in the series against New York? Number two, is Andrei Markov being overused? Number three, what do the Habs need to do to get their captain back on track offensively? Number four is IHIO viewer question of the week, which asks, if the Habs don't win the Cup in the next 3 years, should they trade away their best players and rebuild? And number five, does Dwight King deserve to stay on the fourth line? Let's start the show. Aside from Alexander Radulov leading the team with 6 points in the playoffs and Carey Price doing exactly what's expected of him, which other player on the Canadiens have impressed you the most so far in the series against New York?
I'm going to have to say Shea Weber, Lehkonen for two guys. Weber on the back end has been a beast. He's physical down low. He's physical in front of the net. He's chipped in offensively, as we've seen. Lehkonen, not just because that goal he scored in the power play, but he certainly has shown a lot of poise and determination for a young kid in his first NHL playoffs.
I'm going to have to say Brendan Gallagher. That guy's always heading to the net, and he's taking such a beating from the Rangers players, and he just gets up and keeps going. There's a few times in the game 4, I was thinking, ooh, could this potentially be something that will injure him, or will he be out of the game? Of course not. He's right back up. He's being Brendan Gallagher, and he's being the pest that he needs to be, that's able to get under people's skin, so hopefully he can continue.
You like little guys anyway, don't you?
Of course, the little ones are what I like. But I've been really impressed with him so far.
What do you think has changed in Gallagher? That he wasn't like that this season, and he's back now.
Well, he can hold a damn stick now.
Yeah.
You know, his hand was such a wreck, and anytime you come back from the kind of injuries he's had, it's going to take a while. And when he couldn't really hold the stick, you know, you saw the way had all that tape wound around the stick just so he could grip it, and then gradually, as the hand got better, the tape came off. He's got to be able to hold his stick because he's getting the hell beat out of him. Can't buy a call. He could give his contract for the next 3 years to the Refs Association. He still wouldn't get a call. But he battles like, I actually don't remember anybody since maybe Nyland who battled the way he does. You know?
He's a gamer too, so when it comes to these big playoff games, that's when he's really steps up to the plate and he really lives for those moments and can be a difference maker.
So Gallagher is your pick as well, Jack?
Well, I would pick Gallagher. I have to get in a word here since his folks live right around the corner from me for Torrey Mitchell, who's been a great addition since they inserted him in the lineup. He's been absolutely terrific. Scored in New York. You know, he gave them what they needed. He's putting some pressure from that fourth line on any defense. Now, if he had a couple wingers who could maybe keep up with him, but King is not that.
Yeah, and Plekanec as well has sort of looks like the old Plekanec all of a sudden in the playoffs.
He's been crapped on so much all year long, and the playoffs started, and he's been very good.
Yeah. Andrei Markov led to, he made a few mistakes in Game 4. The most notable was one that led to the first goal. Do you think he's being overused by the coaching staff?
I don't think so, and I actually don't think the one that led to the goal was a mistake. He was trying to kick the puck out from between his skates to himself, and it just happened that the angle of the skate blade went to, that's just one of those things that happens. And to me, he doesn't look fatigued, he doesn't look anything.
I think just one bad game is not a reason to say that he's being overused. If you look through any playoff series, there's going to be players that have bad games, especially the ones that are your star players on your team. He did have 5 giveaways that game, so let's just sort of say that that's just one that you can write off and move on from. But besides that Game 4, he's been steady the whole way, and I don't think that he's going to be too overused, especially at this point.
Yeah, his ice time is fine. I'm not worried about him, and that was a tough one last night off his skate. You look at, it's a game of mistakes, bad bounce off his skate. You know, he certainly is a guy you can't afford to not play at this point in the season.
Okay. Max Pacioretty, he's scored 1 assist so far in the whole series. I don't know, is it me or does he kind of disappear when the playoffs happen? He was so effective all throughout the season. What's going on? What do the Habs need to do to get this guy going?
I don't know about effective all season. Like, he had a decent season numbers-wise. Like, he matched his best.
Yeah,
but,
most of the season.
And he scored goals, and he went times where he didn't score goals. And my whole thing with Max is, you know, he's leading the league in shots. Great. But you can shoot from anywhere. some of his shots come from the parking lot. You need shots from in the slot in dangerous areas. The problem with Max is he's not getting to those areas. In the overtime, when Max took that puck in Game 3 and drove to the net, had a defenseman hanging off him. He spun around, stayed with the puck. He battled for the puck. He got it to the net. They ended up scoring that goal, Radulov. That's what you need for Max Pacioretty, game in and game out. You can't expect that every shift, but you need that kind of determination. And on the winning goal last night, instead of trying to jump by the defenseman and poke it by him and hope you get a breakaway, you can't do that. Max Pacioretty should have taken the defenseman. You got to play through the man in that situation, and you end up costing the team the game. That's a big goal. And in a game where goals are at a premium, that's a huge mistake.
He's trying to do too much, and Max Pacioretty has been a player who's always been very hard on himself, and it's something that is probably difficult to get away from when you're always constantly on your own case from it. And when things aren't going well for him, like you said, he only has 1 assist so far in this playoff series. I think he's trying to do too much to make up for that, but he can't be Pacioretty the friendly ghost. They need him in this playoff series, and he has to step up his game. So mentally, he's got to get his stuff figured out, because the patients here in this city, they're saying, again, in the playoffs, Pacioretty, what's going on?
When it's April 19th and your captain and leading scorer hasn't scored since March, you got a problem. And especially because it's an annual thing with him. We were talking before the playoffs about how they have to have the secondary scoring. So, you got Lehkonen, Gallagher, Byron, Mitchell, all these guys are contributing, and guess who isn't? He's got to do it, and, he's got to get in those nasty little parts that he seems to abhor.
Do you see him getting better, though? I mean, he's the captain. He's in his late 20s. It's not like he's a 22-year-old kid who's out to get used to the playoffs. Like, at this point in his career, how come he's still an issue? He's a
streaky scorer, though. And he is,
He's always been streaky.
Actually, a lot of scorers are. Yeah. But I think if he gets one, it might get him rolling, And the longer he goes without getting one, the worse it's going to get.
And the more media questions,
more pressure, more
Schmucks like us.
that show up.
Maybe we should just stop talking about this and move on to the next question. Okay, it's time for HIO Viewer Question of the Week. This week's viewer question comes to us from Tyler Davison in Norwich, England. He asks, if the Habs don't win a Stanley Cup in the next 3 years, should they trade Carey Price, Max Pacioretty, and others for picks and prospects and rebuild? What do you think?
I think it'll be too late by then. 3 years from now, Pacioretty's going to be 31. Price will be 33.
Yeah.
There's still value there, but you want to get real value. You got to do it when they're in their prime, to be honest with you. So I don't know. Price is going to sign a big contract coming up here, so I don't think he's going anywhere. Max, you can't afford to get rid of him. He's so, he comes so cheaply, And what's he got, 3 years left on that deal?
No, I believe the deal's up now. So he's
Pacioretty?
No, not this summer.
Not this summer.
I think it's No.
It's like he got 2 or 3 years left on that deal. But anyway, regardless, you can't trade that. You're not going to get any value for Pacioretty. You're going to be taking up another $3 million if you trade it for a similar player.
And he's still one of those guys who get you two, not
through the playoffs. Well, his agent really did a messed up job with that contract.
Well, that's why he got fired.
Has that many years left on it. But I would say I would be open to trading a guy like Max Pacioretty, but Carey Price would keep. Having an elite goaltender is not something that comes around all that often. And I think at the age of 32, 33, he still will be playing at quite valuable hockey. So why not just hold on to him and then see once you have a successor come, then let go of him later on in his career.
Yeah, I think Carey finishes his career here. I just don't see him going anywhere. He's an institution.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like Patrick and have a blow up with the coach. Although he might give him a dirty look.
Dwight King has been pretty listless in the series. He's slow. Are you surprised that he's still on the team and hasn't been traded off the fourth line for somebody else?
He's not the fastest guy out there, but he adds that physical element on the boards, I think, that they need. Is he out running around every shift? No. But, you can put more speed in there if you want, but I still think they need somebody up front that have some size. They don't Other than him, they don't really have much size.
I mean, I see people like Steve Ott really being an agitator. Do you think Dwight King can step up more in that respect?
I don't think that's in his repertoire. You know, he's more that, you know, physical guy. I'll go to the net. I'll hit when I can. Strong on the puck. All those things. But you know, I think we're nitpicking when it comes to Dwight King.
This is a really physical series, and I think you need at least.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of
got him
playoff
for.
experience as well, playing for the LA Kings, so that is something that he brings to the lineup. But I think now people just want to pick on Dwight King. Like,
They got to pick on somebody. Desharnais's gone.
It's true. He's the new David Desharnais right now, so I don't have that much of a problem with Dwight King.
What are your thoughts on Galchenyuk in this series? He's been a little bit effectively offensively, but defensively he's sort of been clueless. What do you think about that?
He, you know, watching him in the Game 4 against the Rangers, the thing I always notice is he has this gift for not being anywhere, which is really hard, but, you know, they're in their own end. There's a huge space kind of in the center, in the slot. And he's kind of floundering around out there. And you can see that he doesn't know quite what he should do. And you want to scream, do something, even do the wrong thing. But it's just he's kind of just this lost, you know, like an asteroid that's been cast into space and doesn't know where to go.
He'll never be a #1 center. I don't care who the coach is until he learns how to play in his own end. And, God, this kid, what he has, you know, what he has you can't teach. What he doesn't have, you can teach. And you can learn that. And it's been 5 years now, and he's not even close to understanding how to play in his end. And that is troubling. And you can say, oh, he played wing, he was down center, everybody, oh, shut up. Every guy has to learn how to play down low in their end. You don't have to be a center. When they work 3-on-3 down low, every player plays that center ice position. They practice that in practice because every guy has to know the center isn't always the first guy back. So if it's a winger back, he has to play down low until you get relief. So as far as the excuse that, well, he hasn't played center all 5 years, no. He has to want to learn that. He has to put in the time, and he has to really try and understand it, learn it, and then apply it in the game. And he just really, he's lost out there right now.
Do you think it's a work ethic thing? Is he one of those players that's always been just a little too talented for his own good, where he just feels like he can get by and, you know, do you think that's the problem?
I don't know if how his brain is wired.
I think he listens to the wrong coach, his father.
Yeah, I think it's an attitude adjustment that he really needs, that he needs to listen to the right person and really take it in and, like Chris said, want to learn how to do it and not say, I'm too good for that. So until he sucks up his own ego, he's going to continue to have trouble in his own end.
Okay. Well, that is our show for this week. We want to thank you all for tuning in at home. We want to thank the panel, Jack, Jessica, and Chris. Leave your comments in the comments section below, like and share the video. We'll see you next Thursday. Go Habs, go.